let's get, where goes that? Use the space. Use the space. I have a question. What if being done is better than being perfect? And what if being brave is better than being polished? I've been thinking a lot about perfectionism. It showed up in my life so often and for so long that it kind of just became a personality trait at one point. And I think my desire to live in the moment and to be more of a whole person and to put myself out there, like I really had to get over the perfectionist tendencies. It always stems back to the upbringing. Ever since I can remember, I just really wrestled with this feeling of being misunderstood or being too much. And it was never like being too much as in like being too loud. It was just like being too much as in feeling. I think that it caused me to overperform and to overanalyze and to over explain all the time. And I just find that when you're so controlling over the perception or you care so much about what people think, some of us develop a fear of being perceived, and a fear of being perceived ultimately ends up with you really shrinking back from the light. But that's the narrative, is that I can control what people think of me by not putting myself out there. Through my adulthood, I've been working on distancing myself from those tendencies. I think some of it has come from getting older and maturing and, developing a frontal lobe at 25, I think really helped. Also, there have been things that I've been really intentional about in order to grow. And so I'm going to talk about those. And I am in the middle of collaging. I have this old one that I started that I never finished. I don't even know where this came from, but I'm just going to go off of it. And I've got my marker. Like, I don't normally do this, but I was like, I want to do something while I'm talking about this, and it's this. So making YouTube videos is a pretty good way to let go of perfectionism. That is, if you actually make them. I was watching this video by Dea. I'll include the card for it. And she was talking about how your business is like a game. And she was using the analogy of like a video game, like parts of a video game to explain like bringing your business or your ideas to fruition. When she's explaining it, I'm getting this realization that, oh my goodness, I'm doing something wrong. I have overthought YouTube so much, which is hilarious because when you look at my channel, it's like I have nothing on here. And that's kind of what she's saying, is she just called this place where you're thinking of all of the ideas and you're coming up with the image and you're like, it's just busy work ultimately. And she kind of equated it to like a video game tutorial. She's like, if you're not making videos or you're not doing the thing, like doing the work that you're setting out to do, like you're kind of stuck in the tutorial phase. And I was like, okay, like I'm stuck in the tutorial phase of YouTube and I need to just do stuff. And hitting publish on a video, no matter how I feel about it, like if it's done, it's done, and I'll just keep getting better and just keep refining it. Once you hit publish, you also like really have to let go. You cannot control what people are gonna say in the comments. You can't control like how people are gonna view it. I think it's also a real art of letting yourself be seen without feeling like you have to manage how you're perceived. That's like a whole other video and a whole other conversation. There's a celebrity coach, her name's Whitney. A lot of the things that she talks about kind of alludes to this fear of being perceived, and she helps famous people cope with fame because you really have to kind of detach yourself. In a way, like on a small scale, I kind of have to do this too. Here, up. Oh. He needs a nap. The next thing is that I surround myself with voices that pull me forward. I'm constantly listening to podcasts and to books who are always reframing failure. Whenever you're entering something that's more creative, or you have a bunch of time on your hands and you're trying to figure out what to do and you want to start that thing but you can't and you don't know how. It's like having the voices and the conversations playing in your head of people who are like, no, put something out there and then you can refine it, and that's the process of learning, and let's enjoy it and be unpolished. And choosing to be part of communities that embrace that also. All of those things are really important. This year, I wasn't part of any clubs, but I was really wanting to do things with groups of people, and somehow at the same time I entered into a book club, and I entered into I sounded like I'm entering a giveaway. Why am I saying it like that? I joined a book club and I joined a collage club. That's been really fun, especially the collage club, because it's more like it's hands-on, creative, and there's no going wrong. Like you're just enjoying cutting things out and gluing them down in like a creative way. Sometimes there's a theme, but ultimately you can just kind of do what you want, and it's really cool. The next thing that I think really helps with my perfectionism is grounding myself in real life and getting kind of off of the digital space as much as I can. In order to make these YouTube videos, I think it's important that I don't watch a ton of other YouTube videos, partly because you kind of end up imitating even if you don't want to. And some imitation's fine, but if you're just consuming other YouTube videos, what are you gonna have to say on your own that's like worth saying? Otherwise, it's just, your output is just the same stuff that other people are saying. More time reading and walking and being outside and talking with people and, you know, petting my dog and things that are actually inspiring and make me think are really good ways for me to let go of that perfectionism, because ultimately it gives me my own ideas. Okay, track with me.
Track with me, okay?
One of the reasons that I might not want to put something out is because I haven't said something perfectly. And the reason that I feel like I haven't said something perfectly is because maybe it's not my own words. So I think being in touch with yourself, being in touch with what's actually going on in the world, engaging with ideas, engaging with people, having all of that just kind of sharpen each other is how you come up with fully formed opinions and like your own thoughts about what's going on in the world so that you can actually share it with other people. And so when you have your own ideas and your own, you know, conclusions that you've come up with yourself, don't you ultimately feel more confident about saying it? Which therefore makes you feel more confident about putting it out, even if it's not technically perfect. I hope you're following me, but I do think that grounding yourself in good things outside of the digital space really help you with the perfectionism. Just replacing the noise with nourishment. But when you let go of that perfectionism, it just gives you permission to try and to fail and learn and refine, and that's kind of what it's all about, right? The world tells us to fix ourselves constantly. You don't have to fix yourself. You do, I think, have a responsibility to grow as a human being, but the self-development industry is a very profitable business, and it always will be, because I think we always just will have that need to not just growing, but because of people's obsession with perfection, to having it down and having it right, it will just always be a thing. While growing is good, we're not meant to live in a constant state of self-correction. So despite the things that you've done or the things that you've left undone, it's still important to remember that you matter, that your voice matters. I talked so much today that I cut 2 things out. A bronze boy, and I got a monkey with a mask. I just want to say that if this resonated, let me know what's one small imperfect thing that you're going to try this week. The thing that you've been wanting to try, but perfectionism is holding you back. Hopefully by leaving a comment, you'll also encourage other people to just be unpolished and be brave and just tackle it head on. Look, and I'm gonna hit publish on this YouTube video. Thanks.